Well, I'm out here on this nature walk, and I was just thinking of all the things that are unfolding right now with Biden and the secret documents, the classified documents being found so far as 2 locations, and I'm sure there are just more. Because, I mean, this thing is deep. But what it is confirming is something that we have always said, that Democrats are guilty of everything that they accuse others of. Whatever you hear coming out of a Democrat's mouth, where they're accusing somebody of something, they've done that and even more. It's always the case. It's always the case, people. Now, these documents, these classified docs they're finding in different locations, Biden was the vice president at the time. He had no business with these documents. He had no declassifying power. None of that. What he was doing with these documents, we don't know. But the thing is, of course, they sent the FBI to ransack Trump's home for documents that he had the legal right to have. Now, they're saying in the media that Trump stole them. That's how they get stuff, that's how they make it more, salacious, I guess. And then their cohorts and idiots on Twitter and, their followers repeated, Trump stole those documents. Now, that's not what happened. We know that the GSA, which are federal workers, packed the documents in boxes and sent them or carried them to Trump. So how can somebody steal something that's been packed by others and brought to them? But that's what Trump stole those documents. Well, anyway, but look how they did it. Look how hypocritical they are. I'm hoping, which I doubt, that Democrats will see this as being completely hypocritical and made up. Because the whole thing with Trump, is made up. They know that he had every right to have the documents. They know that he declassified them, but they're just scraping, trying to find something to get him on. And so they lie and make it seem like he stole documents that he shouldn't have or shouldn't have. You should have heard, what's that guy, Scarborough? Joe Scarborough is an idiot. He and his wife, who's also the co-host of the show, Morning Joe, they're idiots. They're trying to holler and scream and claim that Trump's the one guilty, not Biden. Biden didn't steal his. Biden did nothing wrong. You see? Don't prosecute Biden. Prosecute Trump. He's the criminal. Get Trump. But we know that's a lie. We know it's all a lie. But this is where we are with this administration. Now, there's no telling how much corruption is in this Democrat administration because, see, this was under Obama. Now, this is what I really wanted to say in this video. See, I believe that the Obama administration was the most corrupt administration we've ever had. And the reason I say that is because because he was a black president, no one was allowed to even investigate or look into anything he was doing, that administration was doing, no matter who did it. When somebody looked into that administration and said, this is going on, that's going on, they were you're just a racist. You want to bring down the first black president's administration. They could hide behind his skin color. So nobody was in charge. Obama was doing his own thing, and everybody in his administration was doing their own thing, and nobody could investigate. Even when we won the House under him and the Senate, we weren't allowed to do anything because you're racist. Now, you remember Eric Holder? You remember him? He's the first attorney general. And he had a gun running scam going with Mexico, taking taxpayers' money. Now, listen, this was a public official using taxpayers' money to do this gun running thing. Well, our Congress, found out about it. And they started investigating, asking for documents, asking him to appear before Congress, you remember, to testify. Well, he didn't. They held him in contempt. And instead of him complying, he just stepped down. But look what they did to Steve Bannon, who was a private citizen, minding his own business, not using taxpayers' dollars. You know what? They held him in contempt because he wouldn't appear. But see, he did not say he didn't want to appear. Bannon said he would testify, but he wanted to do it publicly because they wanted him to do it privately so they could lie to the public and say he said something he didn't say. And another reason they didn't want him to testify publicly because the stuff he was going to say they don't want to get out because they're lying. Of course, this is about January 6th with Steve Bannon. The whole thing is a lie and they know it. And so, but they claimed that he had something to do with it. He had documents or email. I don't know, but it was something, somehow he helped set it up. Bannon, Steve Bannon, which is a lie, and they know that. But look how they treated him, a private citizen. They went to his home and arrested him, or they got him coming out of somewhere. They arrested him, all I know. They showed him being arrested, Steve Bannon. And then they turned around, and now he's been indicted and so forth, and he's supposed to do like 4 months in prison or whatever for contempt or not obeying Democrats in the January 6th committee in their scam. Now, of course, he's appealing it right now. He's out of jail free until this thing comes to the... But look, I'm saying he was a private citizen. Eric Holder was not a private citizen. He was the attorney general. He was being paid by taxpayers' dollars. And he was committing a crime with using taxpayers' money. And when the Republican House asked him to come and testify and asked him to turn over documents, he refused to do all of that. This was under the Obama administration. And what happened? He just stepped down. That's it. And the media didn't even report. Listen, this is the funny part. The media didn't even report about what was going on with Eric Holder. And I had this friend who was a Democrat. That was a Facebook friend, and I had known her for years. When Eric Holder stepped down, that's when they announced, Eric Holder is stepping down. And she was stunned. She says, why? What happened? And she didn't have enough common sense to say it's more to this. It's more to this. There's a reason he's stepping down. Because, see, they didn't report all the crime he was doing, the gun running scheme and all of that. All the thing they heard, because, they watch CNN and MSNBC, and they were not reporting on anything going on in the Obama administration, the corruption. So when he stepped down, all of a sudden, she was at a loss. She couldn't figure out why he was stepping down. And that's how it is. And so Obama was able to brag. When he left office, he was able to brag and say, I had no scandals, no corruption. When in fact, it was the opposite. In fact, his administration had, I think, the most corrupt administration. And look what happened with Hillary. Under Obama, she was able to install that illegal server. She was able to install an illegal server in her bathroom. Now, when it all came out, Obama claimed in an interview that he knew nothing about it. But the WikiLeaks uncovered emails that he emailed her under another name. But it would trace back to the President of the United States, emailed Hillary on that private server. So he knew what was going on. And then let's look at Benghazi. To this day, nobody knows where Obama was in Benghazi. Trey Gowdy claimed he was going to get to the bottom of it, but he never could make Obama tell the American people where he was the night that our embassy was being attacked, the 9/11 #2 in 2012. He never has to this day. Now, everybody wanted to know what Hillary was doing and all that, but where was the President of the United States on the night that happened? To this day, we don't know where he was or what he was doing when our embassy was being attacked. So you see what I'm saying? So under Obama's administration, it was laxed. People did whatever they wanted to do because there was no leadership. He did his thing, they did their thing, and if anybody said anything about it, they were racist. So this stuff about Joe Biden is coming out. There's no telling how much other stuff. And like I say, those documents that he had them when he was vice president. Not while he's president. He had no right to have those documents, probably. I don't know what he was doing with the documents, but they want to know what Trump was doing with the documents he had. That's all they want to know. What was Trump doing with those documents? Trump stole those documents. So I just wanted to get on here and say, isn't it funny? Isn't it funny that everything that the Democrats accuse others are doing, they themselves are guilty of every time. I don't care what it is. Every time a Democrat accuses someone of something, they are guilty of that same thing and even worse. Have a blessed day.